where 6 and 7 figure CEOs build their purpose-driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School Masterclass show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission-driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week same place and time for our upcoming show.
All right. Happy Friday, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. I hope you're having a great final day of the working week, and I hope you have great plans for your weekend to rest and reset. That is what I usually do on the weekend. So thank you so much for coming back with another show and interview. And today I have the amazing honor to speak with Carly Pepin, and we're going to talk about how to overcome our imposter syndrome and not really let that get in the way of the impact we get to make. Impact is usually a language we speak as purpose-driven entrepreneurs because it's the fulfillment of the soul. We really believe that through our work, we want to help others. However, imposter syndrome is one of those things that I have overcome personally, but of course it shows up at every level of impact that you really, get to make as you continue in this beautiful journey of entrepreneurship. Carly, welcome. So nice to connect with you today. Welcome to my show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm so excited to learn a little bit more regarding what your take on this topic is, and some of the practical thing, I guess, that we can learn to really, walk away from this conversation and interview. But before we dive into that, I would love to know a little bit more about you. What are some of the most meaningful points or touch points in your personal journey that led you to the work you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that most coaches and consultants have similar experiences where we've had our own personal challenges. We've come to coaching and consulting, had such amazing results from it that it's something that we wanted to share with others as well. So just going through my own journey when I've gotten stuck, when I didn't know what to do with my life, when I felt like it was purposeless, and just learning all those different tools to understand who I was, how to create a business out of that, and just wanting to share that with people today, present day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the person that overcomes something is the best person to share that message because they know exactly what that journey looks like for other people, right? So it's really, really
Absolutely.
inspiring. So, imposter syndrome, where does it stem from? Where is that beginning? Where does it like put up its head? Like, where do we see it?
We see it from the very day that we start our lives. Basically, imposter syndrome, it's like you said, like we overcome it to a certain degree, and then we move on to the next stage of our life. And all of a sudden, we have this new form of imposter syndrome that comes through. But basically, what it is it's a form of comparison. So whenever we compare ourselves to an outside source, that's when an imposter comes in, because we start saying things like, I should do this, I should do that, I need to do this. And that's according to the other person. That's according to the person that you're admiring. When you're a kid, you're admiring someone at school, maybe a friend, maybe your parents. Present day, as you move forward in your business, you might be admiring another coach, consultant, another speaker out there. And we're starting to bring in that imposter whenever we perceive they're doing better than us. We've basically labeled them as doing better than us, as being better than us. And that's when the imposter comes in.
Wow, I never heard of it explained that way. It's the comparison, right? And we talk about comparison in many ways. Stay in your journey, stay in your lane, focus on your own personal development and growth, and all of that. But yeah, and I know people talk about this topic in many various ways, but I never heard of it as comparison, and that makes so much sense because that's usually where we go into the lack mindset, and we always are seeing someone else's highlight reel everywhere we see them, right? We don't see their day-to-day struggles. We don't see the things that they're going through. So it's so easy to kind of just be like, well, maybe you can do it, but not me. So that's kind of, you kind of remove yourself out of the equation from the thing that you actually feel that you need to do. So it's really, really cool. So how about, the other things that you've seen in your work, Carly, that stop people with imposter syndrome? What are some of the things that, gets in people's ways? Like, what does it stop them from doing?
Yeah, whatever you're creating, if you're looking on the outside world, if you're creating a product or a service in your business, and in the outside world, you perceive out there that someone's doing it better, someone's better at it, right? Then what you wind up doing is it's almost like you start competing with them, right? Not bad to go out and see what's on the marketplace. That's great, right? To see what your competition is. But if your sole focus is to try to be better than this other person, you're never going to get there, right? You can go out and look at someone else to understand what needs are being fulfilled, what products and services and the needs that the market wants. That's great research. But also making sure that you're understanding what your unique contribution to that particular market sector is, because that's also part of your life purpose. That's part of your life purpose. If we look at individuals who have done really well in business, Elon Musk is a great example. He's done really well also because he stuck with his life purpose. He doesn't just have Tesla as a company, it is also the mission behind it and the impact he wants to make on the environment. It's why we also see him doing space tech. So we invest in not just the product, but the person. And so what I love to share with people as well is make sure that when you're creating these products and services, remember that people don't just want to create, or they don't want to just have a product. If you're looking to make an impact, they're also investing in you and that deeper purpose that you have. And how do you incorporate that into your product and service? What does that look like? If you're being authentic with who you are and you're not trying to be someone else, it'll naturally come into a business. And that's one of those businesses that you want to wake up every day, like just inspired to tackle the challenges that come along. As you said, all the stuff on the back end that we don't share on our reels, you're inspired to tackle all those things because you love it so much. That's the impact that you want to make. It's the impact that has been made in your life as well.
Yeah, I love that. And it's meaningful to you. And a lot of the times with even imposter syndrome, when you show up to serve because you believe the mission, that there's something bigger than you, right? It's something that goes beyond your self-limitation, your ego and all of that good stuff. When it's something that's really the problem that you feel called to really fix in the world or solve in the world, it does really help you get that big reason why you need to do what you want to do, and it pulls you through the days that you might not see the end of the tunnel, or you're tired, or you're burned out, or you've had a crazy week, right? Because that happens for everybody. But when you believe the bigger mission, then your life has meaning. You wake up every day because there's people that you need to help. So, it definitely gets me out of bed every
Yeah.
day. So I love the way that you just connected that with the purpose, and the impact that everybody wants to make. It's also okay not to feel that daily too, because sometimes I'm like, well, I'm supposed to feel a certain way. I know my mission is big and the vision is big, but you just got to let yourself go through the ups and downs of the emotional part, to stick with it. That's exactly a very great keyword, because in order to build a great brand trust with people, be able to influence them positively, you have to be in their lives consistently so that you build trust and people can expect loyalty from you, which will be the way that you build a base of fans, is what I say, for life. That you can have as amazing relationships on your day to day. I love that, Carly. So I would love to hear a little bit more regarding your framework. So, how is it that you help your clients overcome? Well, first identify it. I'm assuming everything starts there. And then what are some of the things that you help them with within your framework that you have learned gives them amazing results to overcome this for themselves?
Yeah. So the very interesting part about imposter syndrome is that when the comparisons set in, we might not always see it right away. One big thing that you can pay attention to is, when you have that brain fog and it's like you're sitting down and you might be sitting down and working and you just can't think. Like you're having such a hard time thinking of what to do next step. That's actually imposter syndrome has set place in your mind. What happens is you've lost connection to your own executive center. You've lost connection to your own purpose. And the noise, that brain fog is actually noise of other people's voices and other people's opinions, right? So that's one way to kind of connect with it, is that, that brain fog sets in, you feel stuck, you don't know what to do. That's one of the components. The other thing to pay attention to, and this one's a great tool, this is one of my favorites to use, is when you start to use the language like, I should do this. I have to do this. I'm supposed to do this. I need to do this. I've got to do this. All of that indicates that it's not actually something you would love to do, you would want to do, choose to do, desire to do. That's very different language. When you think that you have to or are supposed to, ask yourself the question, according to who? And you'll think of someone pretty quick right off the bat that you're actually putting on the pedestal and comparing yourself to. That have to, according to who, is the person that you have the imposter syndrome around. And you've made it that whatever they have in their life, like I said, they could be great in their business. And you're like, well, I have to do this because this person does it this way and they have a great business. That's not actually the truth. So asking those questions to be able to identify who that person is as well is really important. And then after that, what I do with my clients is we make sure that you see that you have inside yourself the very thing that you're seeing on the outside world, that you've put out there on the pedestal, that you're infatuated, admiring, right? Because the truth is if you spot it, you've got it, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you're admiring something in something, and I know some people are like, no, Carly, I don't have this. Yeah, no. I guarantee you have this. Whoever's like thinking, no, I don't have this. I promise you, I have so much certainty you have it, but you have it in your own form. And this is where you cut the imposter syndrome, because when you can see where you have that same value in business and life in your own unique form, what you've done is you've not only taken the other person off a pedestal, you not only cut the imposter syndrome, but you get the craziest insights on your unique life purpose and how all of these things that you admire show up uniquely in your own genius, in your own purpose. And then you get to incorporate that into your day-to-day life. Because as you said, every day is not peaches and cream. Like, life happens, big events happen. Sometimes things are more challenging than others, and it might not even be in business. It might be your personal life. But if you have that one thing that's so important to you that you don't want to let go of, even during those challenging times, even when you're having a bad day, you wake up anyways and you're like, I'm still going to do this. I'm going to make sure to maintain this and build this because this is that important to me. So imposter syndrome is one of my favorite things to connect with people on, because it gives you, like, once you get to the other side, more insights on your unique purpose, your legacy, your impact, your vision, and how to incorporate that in day-to-day life as well. So it becomes more fulfilling.
Wow, you said so many great things, but two stuck with me that I just want to highlight them. It's the language, which is something I'm constantly watching for myself, between I have to do it rather than I get to do it, because everything is a choice. We are, conscious human beings, and I consciously decided that today these are the priorities intentionally that I set in my day that I get to work on, right? So rather than looking at it as something that's a given, have a more appreciation for the things that you get to do and the impact that you get to make in the business and the projects that you get to be moving forward for the right reasons and the right priorities. So I love that you mentioned that with this as well. And the other one is, I say this all the time, if you are admiring someone, or if you connect with someone's story or message or whatever it is, it just means that it's just that they are the mirror for what's already inside of you. So that is the reason why they speak to you and not to Carly or me or someone else, which is where I also believe with our line of work, there's no such thing as competition, because we all speak to certain points in somebody's inner self, and we connect with people differently at different phases and stages. Like, I could, like an example, I heard a speaker speak about a certain topic 5 years ago, and I heard it differently because I was in a different phase and stage and mindset and awareness level. But now that I have moved along and I made the progress that I've made, because obviously we can only move forward, right, with the days of our lives, I listen to it differently. There's different things that wake up, inside of me. So, and I always say, if you are feeling pulled by someone's message, it's because it's already inside of you. So that is the work to kind of figure out, why are you attracted to that, and what is it that means, and how is it that you can manifest it on the outside for yourself. So it's really, really powerful stuff. I love that.
Yeah, that's beautifully put.
Thank you. Thank you. And the awareness, I mean, I love my show for this reason, because um, I get to level up with every conversation myself personally, right? Not just the audience. And, sometimes is hearing something a different way or having a different perspective shift gives you, like, programs you in a way that you need to hear that day, so that you can make the progress that you're looking for in personal or professional life, right? As you said, I say that personal is always connected to your business growth, and it always goes hand in hand. So the more self-aware we are, the more we definitely get to make that impact. Carly, I'm curious with levels of business, because I help entrepreneurs from, as I said, launch, beginning phases. You don't know what to do. You're confused. You don't know what you don't know. It's very hectic at that beginning phase, I remember. And as they keep growing, and they have the clients, they have the impact, they want to look at ways to systematize things, to scale their business models, to create systems, to bring in team and all of that. I always say, if you decide to keep growing in this business journey, business has no end. You can keep building the business that you want, right? So is imposter syndrome, based on your experience, something that will show up at every new growth phase or opportunity that we go through in our personal and in our business journey? What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As you're saying, in the beginning stages of our business, we might sit down and admire the individuals who can do it all, right? The ones who are managing all the different components of their business. And once we master that ourselves, once we see that we can do that, that imposter syndrome shifts, because all of a sudden they're equal, right? But now your next level, as you're saying, is now I'm going to hire someone. Now I'm going to hire someone. I'm going to find new ways to put my work out there. And all of a sudden, maybe you're starting to admire these speakers. Maybe you're admiring business owners, larger business owners that are managing bigger companies and what they do. At every level that we move forward, you're definitely going to have that different component of imposter syndrome. Once you kind of accomplish all that, maybe you're like, wow, my business is doing really well. And I want to put in that legacy piece, right? Like, what am I going to leave behind with this business? And now you're starting to admire people and have imposter syndrome around what philanthropy should look like in your business. What's the legacy piece? What's the long-term impact? So at every stage that you graduate, one component of imposter syndrome, the have tos, the shoulds, you're going to get another one that's going to come forward and in place. The amazing thing about this is that imposter syndrome isn't something to be afraid of. It's not something that overpowers us. It's actually an indicator that we got a little off track of being connected with our life purpose. So whenever it comes in for me, it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm a little off track here. Let me work through this, because I know on the other side of this, I'm more connected to my purpose. I'm more connected to my mission. I'm more connected to my own authenticity and who I want to be in this world and how to do that. So, like, when we think about it, sometimes people get really overwhelmed, but remember, it's just a tool. It's like the universe gives us these amazing tools that sometimes we label as frustrating or bad or terrible and we want to get rid of. But the reality is these tools are here to empower us every day of our lives. And it doesn't have to be stressful or overwhelming when we actually understand how to use them, how to read the language, the messages that we're getting from our own feedback in our body, in our minds, in our language, and how to move forward so that we can empower ourselves in the future to have that impact, to build that business that you're inspired to build uniquely in the way that you would love to do it. The most successful business owners I've seen, they take these amazing tools that, other business owners have given them, but then they incorporate it in an authentic way for themselves, and they've been the most successful. So that's when imposter syndrome comes in. It's the universe trying to get you to be authentic, to empower yourself, to build this in a way that's sustainable, fulfilling, and inspiring for you.
Wow, absolutely. That's putting your own authentic spin to it and aligning with your business is definitely the only way to sustain it. Because, I mean, how long can you build someone else's business before you get tired of that? If it doesn't feel good to you,
Burnout.
show up every day. This is not one thing that you just do it once and you forget it, right? So you definitely have to do something that speaks to you. Otherwise, you just cannot build a legacy business. You're just going to have to re-pivot and readapt and figure out your way and realign, right? But unless you do that, if you are out of alignment, for sure, it won't feel good to you, and you're not going to get the results because there's going to be so many blocks in your way. So you're going to be working very hard, but not in alignment and in harmony, right? So that's really amazing there. So then what I heard you say, Carly, because I was under the perception that when imposter syndrome shows up, it's because there is we're into a new growth, a new level of beyond our comfort zone. But you are saying that it's a signal that you're out of alignment. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're out of alignment because that's when the shoulds and the have tos come in. The minute you're living your life by a should, a have to, supposed to, ought to, got to, you're not doing what you want to do. So you're out of alignment immediately. And so the minute imposter syndrome comes in, we're out of alignment and out of touch with who we are. And we're thinking that we should be a different way, or even life should be a different way. So that's it's so important to catch these shoulds, these have tos, so that when you overcome that, you get back on track, you get back in alignment with who you are. And then it's like you naturally move forward. Your executive center, your forebrain turns on, and you start to get the ideas and insights in alignment with who you are, your purpose, which authentically is what people are signing up for. You know, when you're building your business around the coaching, consulting, your entrepreneurship, your products, people don't just sign up for products anymore. We love products that work, but have you noticed how much we also love the mission behind it? We love beauty products now that have a message, you know, that have like something behind it that's not just like a beauty product. Like, how do we help people build self-esteem through these beauty products? Like, we're starting as a culture to want more of that message behind it. So the more that you're connected with that, the more that you could put it in your business and attract the individuals that want to empower themselves using your products and services. People want that now.
Yeah, people buy from people, and they buy also behind the main message and the mission of what you stand for. There's no more where these companies that we got known to grow up with, these big brands and companies. In today's world, you have to have a face behind your brand. Because again, people want to know who's behind this and why should I purchase, because obviously we have evolved and there's more channels and options and choices, so our marketing has to evolve as well. But I like the direction we're going. I mean, it should always be about emotional connection, being there for the right reasons, you know, being passionate about what you do, and making this your legacy and your mission, because it's what I've learned, that is the only way that's going to keep you moving forward through all the obstacles that will always come your way. So thank you so much for that distinction. Definitely food for thought. Listening to you and the way that you kind of are explaining this from your experience as well definitely gives in a new perspective, and that's very, very helpful always. We have actually reached the end of our interview, Carly. I want to thank you for everything that you shared with us so far, and I usually ask my guests at the end for a final message from their school of their entrepreneurship journey, and also where is it that people can connect with you further.
Yeah. Find what you love in life. Find what you love in life. Find what serves people, how that serves a need for people, and create a business out of that. And there's just nothing that can actually hold you back. There's no challenge that will hold you back. You'll do whatever it takes to actually make that happen. And the person, it's not even about having that business, but the journey of creating that business and creating that impact will give you such a profound amount of personal development, connecting to yourself and others. Like, it's the best journey that you can ever go on. It's really quite inspiring and the most profound, because you get to know yourself more than anyone else on this planet. And you go to bed with you every day, you wake up with you every day, spend time on you every day. Yeah. So definitely that one's really important. Yeah. And you can find me on my website, carlypepin.com. All my social media channels are there. All my offerings are there as well, where I have some workshops as well, where we kind of dive into this in more detail and do some work around it.
Well, beautiful work, Carly. I'm so glad that we got to connect. And thank you so much for the beautiful message you shared with us today. Yeah, I appreciate all the wisdom that you left with our listeners today. Thank you so much, and have a great, amazing rest of your weekend as well. And guys, before I go, share and subscribe to our show so that you can share with other purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Love to offer you a free high-level strategy call where I would love to hold the space and really connect the dots for you in your life and business alignment, from branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team, and really have you walk away with insight on what you might be missing and what are the gaps you are currently experiencing in your business between where you are and what you're trying to achieve, so that you can get more income and make more impact with the work that you are doing in the world. Let me know if you'd like to connect, and I'll be more than happy to have a call and a beautiful conversation together to see if we can support you further.